The change order. You've heard of it, you know about it, and yet, despite your best efforts, it still comes to haunt you. Change orders destroy projects all the time. Why does this happen? Well, there's a few reasons, but here's the first one, and it is by far the biggest one: simple lack of preparation. Okay, you came into a project and you said, oh, it's just going to be A, B, C, that's it. And the next thing you know, you've added the rest of the alphabet and you got change ordered to death, and bye bye profit. Okay, by far the biggest reason is a lack of profit. Okay. How does this happen? We as humans are really good at oversimplifying what needs to be done, and we're really good at minimizing risk and convincing ourselves that, oh, yeah, nothing could go wrong. And this is a dangerous place to be, because this is what causes projects to end up in change order hell, and there's no coming back, because a lot of times you're in the middle of it and you got to keep going. Like, what's the alternative? Walk away, which is a reasonable alternative. And then sometimes that is going to be your best option. But most of the time, you got to press on, right? And you just got to get to the finish line, and it becomes challenging. In another video, I talked about when something goes wrong, a lot of times you need to stop and just reassess and make sure it's not going to send you on a path that you don't want to be on. Okay, because once you accept a change order, here's what I know: a lot of times there's going to be another one coming right behind it. The vast majority, it's a domino effect. One thing leads to another over and over, and the pit is almost always deeper than you thought it would be. So preparation, by far, by far, the number one reason why change orders kill your projects. So the preparation, it's pivotal. Think of a sports athlete. They prepare like an Olympic athlete. They prepare for months, years. For what? 10 seconds, 60 seconds, a couple minutes, like whatever it is, depending on the sport. Okay. Rehabbing houses, not much different. Building houses, not much different. It's all in the prep. Now, what if you prepped well and now you're into it? So, so now what? And it's still happening. Well, the next thing that creates change order drama is simply a lack of knowledge. So when you're rehabbing, we have this thing where it's like, hey, the contractor knows everything. I assure you, they do not. There are tons of GCs out there that are not worth their cost. How do we know this? It's the 80-20 rule. In any trade, you want to hire someone in that top 20%. Because if you don't, you're probably going to be disappointed with the results. Too much focus is on who's got the lowest cost and the best cost. And cost is important. Of course it is. No one's going to argue that. But you need solid people. Because if you pay less, 9 times out of 10, they're going to cost you more. Now, are there exceptions? There's always an exception. But don't run your business assuming the exception will always be in your favor. That is not realistic at all. Okay? You want that top 20% of contractor. That way, when a real change order comes up, there's another piece of the puzzle, and that's the education. Why did it come up? What can we do to avoid it? Oh, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Contractor, since this did come up, let's review the rest of the scope. Let's walk the house again, and let's make sure there's no other significant surprises. Okay? It's taking the time to get educated and not just deferring to the contractor. And nowadays, we can just run to AI and get real-time feedback. Now, I caution you, do not just assume AI will solve all your problems. It will not, no matter how good it is, and it's not always correct, okay? AI is only as good as the information you give it many times, and if your information is deficient or your understanding is deficient, the results you get from AI may lead you to conclusions that are actually not at all realistic. Okay, so don't think AI's, oh, we'll just press a button and I'll have all my answer. That is not how that little game works. Okay, you need to be educated, you need to understand. And anytime a change order comes up, there was probably a lack of understanding involved in something that could potentially happen. Okay, now if you decided you wanted the change order, and this would be another reason why change orders come up, sometimes you just want something because, oh, well, the realtor said if I do this, I'll get more money, or I just like to do this because I think it looks cool, which, by the way, is a dangerous way to think because you're not, unless you're moving in, don't do that. Okay, so sometimes we want changes because we think, oftentimes emotionally, which is dangerous, that it will help. Okay. And what happens? We end up creating problems that never needed to exist. I've experienced this with architects. Architects in particular can be great at giving you wonderful things with no regard to budget. If you work with designers, they can be exceptionally good at spending money you did not intend to spend. Okay, there is a balance. Now, don't get me wrong, you need a good architect if your project needs one. You need a designer if your project requires one because they can bring tremendous value, but you must balance it. Don't get caught up in change orders because you think something will be nice or cool or the realtor said so. By the way, the realtor's money is never on the line, so take their opinion with a grain of salt. Or as I like to tell them, if they say, you really need to do this, I'll say, are you willing to bet your commission on it? You will find out real quick how much they believe in what they just told you when their commission is on the line. Okay? Use that line and you'll find out the real opinion, not the emotional, feel good, sounds good, probably will work opinion, only to find out it didn't later and you're stuck holding the bag. Okay? So that's reason number 3. Okay? And then the last reason I would say change orders cause a lot of drama is simply you did not allow a contingency in the budget that was sufficient. And so what I've learned is 20% bare minimum. Now, we've done numerous projects where we didn't come near 20%, and we've had projects that go well over 20%. Okay, I think we've had projects literally go under budget. Some people say, "Oh, that's impossible." No, it is possible. It is not. It's not common. I will tell you that, but it has happened. But I've also had projects literally go double the budget. And when you're dealing with a big project, that double can be quite a large number. Okay, so understanding having a real contingency is very important. The larger the project, the larger the contingency. I would start with 20% for literally any project. But then if you're getting into, say, a full rehab, I might go 25%. If I'm gutting a project, probably 30, 35%. If I'm building a house, probably 35 to 50%. Why? Because as the projects get bigger, the potential for sizable change orders can increase quite significantly. Quite significantly. And here's a very basic example. You start doing foundation work for an addition or maybe for a new house, and you start digging, and the soil is not what you thought it was going to be. Okay, and maybe you didn't run a soil test or an insufficient one, or maybe you hit some solid rock that you weren't planning on hitting. I mean, it can be extraordinarily expensive. And then you have the additional hold costs on top of the actual work. Okay, so don't forget, anytime you include anytime you have a change order, the vast majority of time your hold time costs will also increase, and that's a number that we don't always think about. Okay, so change orders can go sideways for a number of reasons. Your preparation is critical, absolutely critical. Your contingency is critical. You're keeping your emotions in check is critical. And you being knowledgeable, you don't have to be a GC smart, know every detail as if you took the test, but you need to be knowledgeable so you can have educated conversations. So, do your homework and you'll minimize change order hell. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you around.